Welcome to On the Edge with JP Devine from Central Maine Sunday. On the Edge with JP Devine audio is made possible by our subscribers like you. Thank you for listening and supporting local journalism in Central Maine. Now here's JP Devine.
Miss Kramer and me. I'm not sure if she truly loved the cockatiel we called Miss Kramer. She was afraid of touching her. But soon they just got over it, and there were many, many years of touching. After a while, Miss Kramer grew to love her. They were about 20 years ago. Well, cockatiels, they live a long time. Recently, when I got tired of holding our Miss Kramer, the 25-year-old cockatiel, whom we named after the comic on Seinfeld, I would set her down on the coffee table where she appeared to pout. What does a bird's pout look like? I asked the woman of the house. What? Do you think Miss Kramer is pouting? She, who was busy reading the third book of the week, said, "Oh, I don't know. You're the bird guy, Daddy." He smiled and went back to reading. Oh, she's right. I am the bird guy. Since childhood, I've been one with birds. It went like this. First, there were the natural birds, the ones in the yard, in the trees, on the fences, and like the crows and robins. Look, I said to my oldest sister, Rita, who sat on the back porch coloring her nails, "What is that?" "That's a bluebird," she said. "It's like the bluebirds in the songs." "Who told you that?" "Sister Milda." Now, I remember being ready to accept that as God's truth because Sister Amelia was the garden keeper of the convent across the street. Now, you readers, you must have memorized all of that years ago. So I went over one day and asked her when she was pruning flowers in the yard. "Go look it up," she mumbled. Okay. See, nuns, especially the ones who teach in the school, always answer like that. They want you to read something other than a Batman comic book. Now, okay, I went to the library, as I always did when it was too hot, and Mrs. Willarding, who sat at the counter, opened a book and read it to me. Now, I don't remember what she said. Of course, it was 100 years ago, so I just looked it up again. Bluebirds are from the thrush family, whereas blue jays are from the corvids family. Now, bluebirds are smaller and less aggressive than blue jays. As a child, that would be me. And there are differences in their plumage, size, range, and habitat, diet, and behavior. Yes, like me. Now, that sounds exactly what Mrs. Willarding read. Back in the living room, she who knew more about everything than I did, scoffed. "Well, Mrs. Willarding was always right," I added. "Wasn't she your library lady?" See? I told you, she knew more and always remembered. By now, Miss Kramer had puffed up her little yellow body and after a bit glowered at both of us and let her body sink sadly into one yellow pile of feathers. There she sat, pouting, like a middle-aged woman who had been dealt a bad hand in an afternoon bridge game. Do cockatiels pout? The literature doesn't get into that. If you've loved birds since childhood, especially cardinals as she did, you would just put your nose to the window and shout, look, it's a cardinal, and run for the camera. But by then, the cardinal had flown. Cockatiels live, a long time. We should all be as lucky. Hold on to your camera, kids. Sooner or later, every bird flies away.